And I realized 5 years of feminism, how many women did I help? None. And I almost lost my life. I realized that feminists and all other ideological and identitarian movements, they just want to use hurt people like I was as political puppets. And when they don't need us anymore, we are completely disposable for them. So feminism changed me, made me a vulnerable woman. And then Christian family rescued me and took care of me.
Alex Hadawar for Ribbon News, and I'm currently in Mexico City, and I travel all the way down for bringing you the latest update on the CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference that took place in Polanco, Mexico. So I came here because I want to give a voice to the conservative leaders who are fighting for freedom around the world. Most of the speakers we engaged with were influential in the Spanish-speaking world. But today I engaged with Sara Huff. Sara Huff is a former feminist. When she was young, she suffered from multiple kinds of abuse, leading her to fight for the woman's rights. Unfortunately, the group Femen, that is a feminist Ukrainian origin group, took her as their face. Afterwards, a lot of indoctrination followed, but today she is telling us her story, how she get through, and now she's not a feminist anymore. She's actually fighting against those groups. So before you see the whole interview, go over rebelcpac.com and chip in what you can to support my journey here in Mexico if you think it was really important to report on this important event.
My name is Sara Huff. I'm Brazilian. I'm currently living in Texas in the United States. I came from a very dysfunctional family in the countryside of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Unfortunately, one of my brothers, 10 years older than me, he was in the middle of narcos, drug dealing, and he was extremely violent, very abused. He used to beat up my mom, my dad, me as well. Very violent, and my upbringing was very, very tough. And I grew up with that. And when I turned 16, unfortunately, he kicked me out of my house. He put a gun inside my mouth, and he kicked me out. And he told me if I came back, he would kill me. So I started to live with some relatives, and then I ended up on streets. At the age of 16, I had to turn in my own family. I have to turn in my own dad, my own mother. I ended up in prostitution, and that was horrible. I need to exchange my body for food, for places to live, and I used the money to finish school. At the age of almost 18, I was completely broken. I hated family. I hated God. I hated men. All men that went through my life were extremely abused, like my brother with all the domestic violence, my dad being neglecting, the men on prostitution were being sexually abused, raped multiple times, and God, because I couldn't believe, I couldn't understand, because I've been raised as a Catholic, and I couldn't understand Christianity teach us that God loves us. I never could understand why I was suffering then. God supposed, if God loves me, why am I suffering? I couldn't understand that. So I hated God because I thought God must hate me, so I'm going to hate him back. In this contest of my life, I met the feminist movement with all this beautiful propaganda, with such beautiful terminologies like empowerment, what else? Independence, freedom. And I didn't know what that means, what that meant at the time. So I went on Google, and they said it was all about freedom. It's a fight for equality, domestic violence, sexual exploitation, many things that I was leaving at a time. So I said, wow, I don't know exactly what is this, but I want to be part of this. So then I saw some girls from Ukraine, and they were doing a lot of protests there, and they were very famous at the time. And I said, I want to join them. It was the famine movement. They used to go on topless at the street and then like fighting against sex traffic and sex exploitation and sex tourism, things that I was involved. And I said, I don't want be a victim anymore. I want to be powerful. So I thought about joining these powerful girls. So I text them and they sponsored all my trip to Ukraine. When I got to Ukraine, I thought that I would be meeting the feminine girls. It was not like that. There was about 40 other girls from America, Canada, Argentina, Mexico, Spain, UK, Germany, many other countries, many feminist leaderships, and we've all been through training over a month, going through a brainwashed. It's too much to tell you right now, but they made us to do a lot of activities. For example, in the first day, they made us to throw in the garbage every single thing that represented femininity to us, like makeup, bras, pink stuff like decoration in our luggages and stuff. They made us to set that on fire. There was one day that they made us line up like in a military line in a salon. I mean, in a room, completely naked, and we all in our language we needed to repeat. I am a, I can't say ST SLUT. And then a moment it was really awkward because that I don't think there's any other stuff that is more offensive for a woman than that. And that was so offensive, but that was so awkward. But after 4 hours standing up like that and repeating that while I was beating my chest, suddenly felt normal. We went through a big brainwash. It was over a month with a lot of subversive techniques with KGB agents in Ukraine. When I returned to Brazil, all the press, all the mass media were prepared already to receive me as a celebrity, as a political celebrity. And they sponsored me for 5 years and they told me many things. They gave me orders like how to protest. You have to protest for this. You have to be part of the abortion lobby here and there, politicians here and there. Somehow, I truly believed at that time that whatever I was doing, somehow I would do some good for women because they told that so much. They told me, now you are not an individual anymore. You are a soldier for the revolution. And in this revolution, it doesn't matter what you're gonna do. It doesn't matter if you get hurt, but you will do whatever it's needed to build a good and better world for the next women generation. And my dream was that no women will suffer what I did in the past. So I was okay, fine, I could do that. So I came back to Brazil and I turned into this big political feminist celebrity. And I was always protesting and going to shows and promoting, especially abortion, because abortion is not legal in Brazil. So that is very relevant politically and ideologically. And at the age of 22, I got pregnant. And my feminist friends, they said, oh, actually, that's something good. You must have an abortion because you were the most famous feminist in this country. So if you got an abortion, that would be politically very positive for us because we can create a whole situation that we can take advantage to bring it up the topic again. And they told me that, you know what? Whatever is inside your belly, it's not a human being. It's just a clump of cells. It's just a blood clot. It's just like a period. Don't worry. And they helped me to get an abortion. The same abortion that is legal here in Mexico, same abortion that Planned Parenthood is just giving for free in front of the DMC now in United States. They said it was about empowerment and freedom. They said it was just my right, my body, my choice. They said that I will feel just some cramps. No, I think people who are okay with abortion, they never got an abortion before because oh boy, that hurt. It hurts. Because when you take the pills, those pills, they are made of a chemical substance that will provoke you on purpose, birth contractions. So it's like you will deliver your baby. I went through 6 hours of excruciating pain. And in the end, I didn't see clump of cells or a blood clot in the toilet. I saw my daughter and I realized how wrong I was. And they said that that was safe method of getting the abortion procedure. Actually, the World Health Organization said it's so safe that you can do at home, as I did. 10 days after that, I got a huge bleeding. I bled so much. I called all my feminist friends because my fingertips, it was turning blue, and I got such a huge fever. I felt like my body was on fire. There was a horrible smell coming out of me. I called all my feminist friends. I asked them for help. They said it's okay, we're on our way. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Nobody came. They literally let me to die. The only person who actually saved my life was my neighbor, a white male Christian. He saved my life. He and his wife, they break into my apartment. They literally kicked the door out and they came into my apartment. They carried me out and they took me to the emergency room. It was terrible. I almost died. And they took care of me like I was their own daughter. And I realized 5 years of feminism, how many women did I help? None. And I almost lost my life. I realized that feminists and all other ideological and identitarian movements, they just want to use hurt people like I was as political puppets. And when they don't need us anymore, we are completely disposable for them. So feminism changed me, made me a vulnerable woman. And then a Christian family rescued me and took care of me. So I decided just break away. I suffered a lot with post-abortion syndrome. It was a tough time. I also received a diagnosis of infertility. But then 6 months later, with the grace of God, I got pregnant again. So my little miracle nowadays, his name is Hector. He's 9 years old. And now I think my main message is sexism does exist, yes. Racism exists, yes. Prejudice exists, yes. All those issues exist. How do we solve them? Going crazy on the streets, forcing people to do things that they don't want, trying to push down people's throats crazy ideologies? No. We help people in need. We just, how can we solve the world problem? Being good Christians, just being good. You not if you're not Christian, not probably just being a good human being. So I really and truly don't believe that we need to put a lot of targets here. I am a feminist. I'm also anti-racist. I'm also vegan, and also this and this and this and that. No, I'm just someone based. I'm just a good person. I think all these identitarian movements, they're very childish. They are worried with topics that real people in need, they don't care about it. So feminists, they are talking about so stupid topics. If the questioning if we need to let our body hair grow up, body positive, if we'll be less or more beautiful if we're fat or not, women who are being trafficked, women who are being slaved, women who are being bitten every day for a drunk husband. They don't need this discussion. They need very efficient public policy to reinforce their safety, and they need the community united in charity to take care of that. So that's my main message.
It needs a lot of money to sustain this kind of movement. Did you find any maybe organization who is behind funding this movement?
Yes, it's actually not difficult to find out. Anyone can go online right now after watch this interview and just type www.opensocietyfoundation.org, and that's the George Soros Foundation, and they will see that in the last 8 years, this foundation has gave $21 billion for it's distributed on the entire world for the entire world in organizations split it between what they call in their own website quality, social and racial justice, and climate change. So anyone can apply to receive their money. They have applications, they have grants. Anyone can apply and can receive it. Rockefeller Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, George Soros Foundation, Ford Foundation, MacArthur Foundation, many, and even other giant organizations like the United Nations, or even countries like the Netherlands government. They distribute a lot of money in Latin America, supporting themes regards feminism, gender ideology, and all this. We must to understand that it's a war on family, it's a war on children, and we need to protect ourselves. We need to protect our body, we need to protect our mind, and we need to protect our souls too.
I've been sent here in Mexico City to cover the CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference. I came here because it was important for us to give the voice to those conservative leaders here in the Latin world. But of course, there were other speakers. But it's not cheap to travel all the way here, and I need your help because all of you, we can do all this. Thanks in advance to go over rebelcpac.com to chip in what you can and to watch my report, my hard work on the ground. So I repeat, rebelcpac.com, and thank you for donating, same if it's just $1.